So, what did we just watch?
We just watched 12 Monkeys.
What was the? Do you remember the first time you watched 12 Monkeys?
Not specifically, but I remember not understanding it.
Mm, I remember. I was a big fan of Bruce Willis as a kid. Uh, Loved all of his movies. I can probably name every single movie he was in right now. Just, uh, just because I was that kind of fan.
Obsessive.
Fanatic.
Yes.
Hmm. Followed him all the way through Moonlighting, his TV series, and then the Die Hards and all that. But he was a really good comedian, good actor. Uh, and he's kind of disappeared the last few years doing trash B movies. But anyway, so I watched this in '95 when it came out. Saw it on VHS, and it's another one of our blockbuster rentals where you watch it and you don't move again, right? And I was bored by it then, and I was bored by it now.
Yeah, it was.
Well, let's go through. Let's start at the beginning
Okay.
because there's it starts in the future, I guess, right? And there's a big steampunk vibe. I mean, it's not even a vibe; it's there. It's all over the place.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable to look at.
The movie is sickly.
Mhm.
So what I'll use to describe this whole movie: sickly, sickly colors, sickly camera angles, sickly behavior,
And like hospital gurneys and tubes
and
and
lots of tubes, and lots of asses as well. There's a lot of ass. There's a lot of ass in this movie.
for three butts.
3 butts, and that's three too many. Wait, is it? Would that make it 6 butts? Because is
Three too
each
many.
is each butt each cheek a butt, or never mind.
No, no, the whole butt is a butt.
Right. So within 29 minutes, I marked it. You know, there was three arses. There was three arses getting washed,
It was rapid succession of the butts.
and soap on butt, and big sponges on arses as well. A lot of
Mm.
sponges on arses.
You don't see male butts in movies very often, so it was a treat.
What do you think of the production value?
I it looked cheap in some parts.
Yeah, it looked cheap in some parts, but expensive in other parts. Like the equipment they use, the future play. No, I'm not going to say expensive in some parts. I'm going to say well researched by a production person. What they done is they basically found old abandoned places and says, okay, this will be our future cage where we keep Bruce Willis and our. Yeah, they used to do experiments on animals in this building, so yeah, we'll use that for our future cages, and then we'll put some lights through the bars, and it'll look all futury.
The mad scientist vibe.
Yep. And I didn't I didn't like being there in the future.
No, and it was kind of cartoony, and the people in charge.
Do you think there's
I don't know. There's something wrong there.
do you think this movie is style over substance?
Yes.
Me too. I think the the music when the music starts at the beginning and it's like wee 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 wee
Mhm.
wee, it's hard on your ears, and
Mhm.
the movie is hard on your eyes,
You're
and
just always on edge
you're
while
always
you're watching it.
never relaxing.
Ugly and
Hmm.
just uncomfortable.
Yep, and um,
And I really didn't understand. Like I was confused, like you said when I first watched it, and I was confused this time as well. And like the movie happens too fast, and I don't know enough information about anything. And then it's going back and forth, back and forth. I don't know why
hmm,
they don't show it.
we don't show them. We don't see really. All right, here's a question. Who was Bruce Willis in this movie? What was his character?
No way.
What did you saw him as a boy? You see him as an adult, and he's on a mission. But that character Cole, um, his character was nothing. He was just go to this place, exposition, exposition, 12 monkeys, 12 monkeys. Who was he as a person?
I don't know.
I don't know either. It was sort of just here's Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
This movie has Bruce Willis, but the main character was nothing.
Wasn't really defined by anything, or did he have a past?
He
Like, what did he have a job before that? Was he born during the virus, or after? I'm confused.
No, he was born before because he was in the airport as a kid.
Right.
So he was watching as a kid, survived the virus, and because one of the prophets outside pointed at Willis and yelled, "You're one of us."
Mhm.
Maybe he was trying to say that you're one of the survivors.
Mhm.
A lot of yeah, it's hard to follow the aesthetics of this movie were uncomfortable.
Mhm.
This was an uncomfortable movie, and as we got on through the movie, it made me not like it. I didn't want to be there anymore. And Terry Gillingham will say, "Well, I did my job." That's exactly the vibe I was going for.
Is that just his aesthetic? He just like Brazil made me feel like this uncomfortable.
Well, we talked about the future scenes, and you have that big eye with the TV screens and the chair that zooms them up to the air, and it's not really necessary. It's not necessary because they're right there at a table in front of you. So these are just like you said, style over substance.
Just extraneous things cluttering the area.
We're going to keep your eyes busy, and we're going to move the camera around a lot and be really uncomfortable and sickly and gross. Everybody is going to be somehow either they're going to look like a human condom.
Yeah, that was funny.
Or they're going to look like slimy. Like they wear slimy clothes. Sickly. Like wet clothes, or not wet clothes, but you know those
like dingy.
You know, in the future everybody's got a shimmering, clear plastic looking coat on or something. So it's just gross looking. Everything feels slimy and
dirty.
And they all look like Nazis.
Yeah.
This movie, yeah. So we don't explain where he comes from. I don't even like him too much. I don't care.
No, I really didn't care about anybody in this. What did you think of what is her name? Madeleine Stowe.
Madeleine Stowe. I thought she was the best in the movie. Best. She was awesome. Like one of those maybe underrated performances, because even the way she answered the phone when she's sleeping, she wakes up as if she's, getting the phone from waking up. I don't know. She did a good job.
She felt real.
She felt like a real character, and everybody else didn't. She was maybe in a different movie.
Yeah, maybe she was taking it more serious than say Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt was like allowed to go crazy.
Yeah,
they they pointed the camera at Brad Pitt and said, "Do the hell, do whatever you want."
Yeah, it could be goofy.
And he's also surrounded in that hospital by every cliched crazy person.
Everybody's drooling because that means you're crazy.
And they're tied to beds and they're watching TV and they're it's like a cartoon. They're all watching cartoons.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not nice. And there's this crazy priest guy or whatever. The crazy guy who talks about being on Pluto, and it just ticks every box for craziness, doesn't it?
So that part is like all of that is like kind of hyper realistic craziness, and then you have the weird, love story, like this is a serious love story and serious consequences. It's like, well,
so
I don't get
it. What did you make of Brad Pitt in this? Like, was he good or was he just?
I kept seeing Tyler Durden from Fight Club.
I kept seeing the character he plays in Seven. You know, he used to get that same haircut, and he always moves his hands, gesticulates in that way.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just his.
That's like a Brad Pitt thing, like a 90s Brad Pitt thing, because Tyler was like that. He did like a flicking of the fingers.
We should watch that someday.
Yeah.
So I didn't. Lots of problems with this one. I was mostly just bored. Like I said earlier, it was the first. That's what I felt like the first time I watched it, and I thought, hey, maybe I'm older now. I'll be able to appreciate it a bit more, and I did appreciate some aspects of what they were doing.
Like, what did you expect going into it?
I thought it would be more interesting than it was. It's just one of them things. Maybe it's it thinks it's really smart, but it's kind of not.
Mhm.
Like, I kept thinking, Bruce Willis says something like, "We live like worms,"
Mhm.
in the future.
Mhm.
Okay, you live like worms, but time travel.
Mostly.
The future people have mastered time travel,
Mhm.
yet they still live. They can't get rid of the animals upstairs, or is the virus still airborne in the future? But they can't die. Obviously, they're
They're underground. And why was he? Remember he had that suit on,
yeah.
but he had like, the thing, the hood over his face, and then he had like a
Mm-hmm. He
breathing
couldn't breathe. It was
snorkel thing, but
right.
his nostrils weren't.
So there's something.
What?
The air is poisonous, right? I
Yeah.
guess they can't go outside because poison in the air. But if he survived the initial outbreak, wouldn't he be immune anyway?
Yeah, they should have showed the virus takeover.
Well, what did Bruce Willis do?
Needs more virus.
Needs more virus. That's one of the reasons we watched this, is because it was part of our Outbreak series, right?
Yeah.
And this is just Outbreak with time travel. And there was more time travel than Outbreak.
Yeah.
Outbreak was fun. Like, that was a cheesy
90s flick.
schlock fest. This was it probably came out around the same time as Outbreak.
Like I remember my friend really liked this movie, and was this a popular movie? I don't remember what.
It was critically popular.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking that your friend probably said, maybe he's one of those people that thought, they want to be with the in crowd. They whatever the critics are loving, he'll like. I don't know. Maybe I'm just
Like,
making.
and I'm too stupid to get it. I don't get this movie.
I get the movie. I get everything that was going on. Nothing.
But like, do you get why this is considered good?
Yeah, because it's different, right? It's not like any other movie you could watch. You you can't really think of a movie that's quite like this one, and that in itself is to be applauded.
I guess, but it's boring.
I know it's boring. I'm supposed to be older and more mature, and I was bored not all the way through, and not at the end. The ending was good, but it maybe needed 30 minutes cut off the end or the middle or somewhere. He needed to lose some time.
Yeah, it seems excessively long.
It moved too fast. The movie moved too fast, but it was also too long. Is everyone in the future crazy?
Yeah, because they act cartoony and over the top and exaggerated.
Definitely
so
exaggerated.
So they're all crazy.
Is that what living underground does to people?
Or is that just the Terry Gilliam style of people in charge are wacky?
I'm thinking it's hard to say, because you look at his movies, Time Bandits and stuff, in Brazil, and they are weird, and everyone's crazy and futuristic and steampunk.
Yeah, I guess I don't.
So I don't know. Maybe we were thinking maybe people living underground for so long, and that's what makes them nuts.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Right, let's go with that. Let's give yeah. Anyway, the movie for me outstays its welcome, and if you could master time travel as a race, then I'm thinking you could probably
figure out the virus.
So here's a problem. Try and explain this for me. So at the end, Bruce Willis calls him from the airport. He leaves a report with them, right? And he says, "Hey, future people, 12 monkeys, blah 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 blah." Okay.
Yeah.
He's making that message in 1996. Okay. So in the future, when they're planning on sending someone back through time, they should already know about the 12 monkeys. Even before they ask Bruce Willis to go on the mission, to volunteer.
They should have got that message.
Because he's already sent the message in 96. So they would know that Bruce Willis is the guy who's going to die. They would know about the 12 monkeys. So why send him back to investigate it? when they already know about it. Maybe
I
it's
don't
a
know.
timey-wimey loop.
I'm not sure.
They've said something as well.
Confusing.
Bruce Willis said something about different dimensions. So
Yeah, I thought this was just time, not different dimensions.
yeah. So
Just need more information. Movie.
how did the movie make you feel?
Just annoyed, I guess, and uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't like the aesthetic of his movies, I guess.
Yeah, they
I
leave.
mean, I've only watched Brazil in this one, and I don't know what else he's done, really.
Fear and Loathing, Las Vegas.
Didn't like that either.
Did you?
No.
No. I thought that was it was a good first 20 minutes, and then it went crazy, and nah, so
It's
really
unsettling. What is that?
really
feeling?
self-indulgent. Yeah, he's got, yeah, what is that? What is the word for watching a Terry Gilliam movie? It's jittery. Makes you feel anxious. You want to scratch.
Yeah.
I want to have a shower after watching that.
Yeah, it's just prickly and icky.
Yeah, sickly and ugly. He makes ugly movies, ugly looking movies. Maybe to other people they might be beautiful looking movies.
I don't like it.
No, and you even see that in something like Monty Python.
Mm.
Terry did all of the animation for Monty Python, and those animations are all really
Crude.
steampunky and with tubes and
Really?
yeah, like weird things.
Yeah.
It's a definite
Unsettling.
Style. Unsettling, yeah. But for all its unsettledness, I just found it really bland.
You were intrigued by the him going crazy, and then he deciding that he loves
music,
this woman,
and yeah, the woman, and
I didn't care.
No, I didn't care either.
They had no chemistry.
They had
in my
zero.
opinion.
No, they had zero chemistry.
Okay.
None. She was a good actress. She did her best, and I think maybe she's one of the better actresses who doesn't really get enough work.
Yeah, but like you said, it was kind of choosing a different movie. Like she tried to bring it. I don't know. It's like it was really like crazy and manic people. This weird mad scientist thing, and then she's like trying to help this mentally ill person, and she ends up falling in love with him, and like it's like what is happening? Two moods there.
Yeah, exactly. You see them together, and then suddenly he'll be zomped back to the future.
Yeah.
And then he'll wake up with these Nazi looking weirdos singing to him.
Because he was successful.
Singing the Blueberry Hill thing with painting in the background. That was weird.
Like, is the movie supposed to be like evoking? Like he's supposed to be like mentally ill, or his mind gets messed up from the time travel. So is this movie supposed to look like crazy to like, emphasize what he would?
Oh yeah.
Be looking at and like feeling and like.
Maybe we're seeing it through his eyes because he sees the same person and the same people a lot through the movie. They sees that guy on the escalator, and
sometimes their faces change. Don't they?
Yeah, sometimes their faces change.
They kind of look the same. I'm very confused with this movie.
Yeah, so maybe that's the whole point, is that we're seeing things. I don't know. I think maybe they're trying to be smarter than they think.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't get it or if it's just I hate it.
Okay, what do you think? I didn't like the ending. That's an unsatisfying ending for me.
Yeah, and it was long. Like she was looking at him for like a long time.
And it's one of those things where he sees the dream. He sees this dream all the time, and we know it's him. We know he's the one who's going to die.
Yeah.
And the movie's just going to make this big old loop and tie it up in a wee knot. And I'd have boat it and say, see, we're smart. We did all this stuff. And I'm thinking, I'm not satisfied over here. Hey, mate, you know that part where you've got to entertain people? I'm over here kind of bored.
They missed.
What about so the guy who steals the virus goes on the plane, and sitting next to him is the lady
Mhm.
from the future.
Mhm.
Now, is that her in the past? That must have been her in the past, right?
I think so.
But what if when Bruce Willis sends his last report, they get the final piece and they know where this guy is,
Mhm.
so they send her back
To do the
to do the
final.
final assassination,
Mhm.
and he's basically saved the day because this guy is there and she knows and she's right beside him to assassinate him at some point during the flight.
Like it's too convenient.
Too convenient. So yeah, she's pretending to be someone. At the end, she says, "I'm in insurance."
Mhm.
So that's what suggests to me she's from the future. She is insurance. If Cole never shot him, she is the insurance to get him.
Oh, I see.
So in that way, it's kind of happy ending, I guess. If our theory is correct, the world doesn't end,
Interesting.
and Bruce Willis, the boy, gets to grow up and have a normal life like he always wanted. So you could read
Happy
it,
ending.
yeah, you could read it like that. But that's probably what it is. But again, we're kind of confused.
Because I didn't get a sense when she was in that scene that she was like there was no tip off for me that she was from the future.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because when I first saw this, I assumed she was just that was her taking a flight, and she was younger.
But when she said the insurance part, you're like, oh,
When I said
maybe.
it now, because I'm older and I think about it a wee bit more.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they were going for, and it ends on a happy note.
Is it supposed to be ambivalent? Like you don't know?
Maybe, and even if it is, that shit's unsatisfying. Tell me, keep it. So I guess that's the whole thing about that's our whole point about this movie was confusing, didn't explain too much, was in such a hurry to get from A to B to C to D, and we're still asking questions about B and C.
Yeah.
And
yet it was boring. It was
yeah,
confusing and boring.
confusing and boring. So 12 Monkeys, what would you give it out of 12 Monkeys? How many monkeys would you give 12 Monkeys?
I give 12 Monkeys 4 monkeys.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. 4 monkeys is.
It was pretty brutal. That is a harsh sentence, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I didn't think it was as good as Outbreak.
I had more fun with Outbreak.
Yeah, I didn't have any fun with that.
No,
so,
that was a slog to look at and to hear.
It's one of those movies when you leave the cinema and everybody's kind of thinking, what did we just watch? You're walking out of the cinema and that music is playing at your back. Whammy, whammy.
Like you're not sure how to feel. Like,
yeah, and you're just leaving, and some people will nod and say, yeah, that was alright. It was kind of good.
Whoa, that blew my mind.
And other people are like,
I don't know what to feel. Awful music.
Anyway, I would give this 5 monkeys out of 12.
Out of 12.
Because it was, yeah, 5 is a mediocre score, but I don't think the movie was mediocre. But it's a good movie. It's a good film. It's a well-made piece of art, is what I'll say. But it never entertained me. I was bored. I was annoyed. I felt gross and sick. I need to wash my balls now. I need to get right in there with one of those arse fucking sponges like Bruce Willis uses. I feel gross. I don't ever want to watch it again. That's a one and done movie.
Yeah, I don't need to watch that again.
I'll never in my life watch 12 Monkeys. So 4 and 5. So what did we just watch?
We just watched 12 Monkeys.
We sure did. And
never again.
Never again.